Well, hello. Greetings and eatings, everyone. You are watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou Cheatspeak. Nice to see you. We're here for you. And we're playing everyone's favorite. And there you hear the sound of it. Oh, you gotta love it. It's mini Motorways time here on the channel. Oh, we're winding down from PAX. We had a big PAX adventure for ourselves over the past few days, and you're still seeing the fruits of those labors over the course of the next few days. You will see much more of it. But we got to decompress, we got to relax, we got to have ourselves a nice, non-stressful time to talk about all the things that we did, all the games that we saw, all the ridiculous stuff that's gone on over the past few... How's that look? Good? It looks fine. Over the past few days and weeks, so here we are. We're just going to chill out and play some mini Motorways with y'all and have a good night of it. This is good, too, because I have not made super significant progress in... this mini Motorways. I think I've gotten a lot more on my handheld version, so we can play through some of the maps that I haven't gotten very far on. We can make some progress, and that'll be nice and fun. Chime in, talk about stuff and things. Is the camera okay? I'm gonna give you my face real quick. Hi, how camera? We're good. Hi, nice to see you. Back to the game. And y'all know Mini Motorways, of course. It's one of our favorite go-to quiet games on the stream, as Justin Greschak, Mr. Baloney himself, will attest. Noise. When we get him on the stream every now and again, this is a favorite. The channel over. Everyone loves us some mini motes. So it's stuff and things. We do things and stuff here on the channel, don't you know? There's the Jurston. Also fresh off carrying all of the equipment, most of the equipment, for PAX, doing the show floor tour, and quite literally shouldering a lot of that along with Teresa, Sari Serial. I know she's been working. We all been working. We just out here working. We're working dogs. We doing our best. But a chill double UCAT. I can't. That shows very strangely on screen here, but I get the gist. I love when they cross that section there. I need a roundabout. I love when that happens. Like I have to cross through a very busy intersection to try to make sense of this. Can I jam a roundabout there? I cannot. Can I put a roundabout anywhere there? No, I cannot. That is unfortunate. So we're going to have to maybe detour this because I don't have a traffic light. Oh, that's not going to help either. Okay, so we're just screwed here until I get lights up. That's fine. Yes, chill double UCAT. It's perfect just as it is. You are correct. Where are my manners? We needed, I think, and Baloney and others will certainly attest to this. We had quite the run at PAX, and then jumping right back into real life with nary a day of pause is quite the taxing request. So we wanted a nice chill night to just sort of hang out, talk shop with y'all a little bit more, tease a bit of what's coming to the channel in the next couple of days, and world spins madly on. So here we are. We haven't played mini motes in a while either. At least I haven't, and it's nice to catch up with it. This is one of those, I play this so much when I'm traveling, especially, and I'm like on the road, and it's just a really easy iPad game for me to have with me. I did like an iPad thing with my hands, but you can only see this, so I'm just like, hey. It would get to the point where if Sarah, Miss Nephroptosis, would, you know, either hear the woo-woo, the like ambient noise in the background, or just see me on there, but she's like, are you playing the highway game? The answer would always be yes. But nowadays, it's usually Balatro. And we could have maybe played Balatro tonight. Would you have preferred Balatro? I was thinking about that. But then I was like, you know, I haven't played mini motes in a while. What do I do about it? And this was the response, it seems. So there you go. Asked my own question. Answered my own question. Asked and answered. Deal with it. We got to get these three over yonder. Oh, and then we got a whole bunch of this. Keep it close to the rocks. Beautifully done. leave no room. We're going to do some cheatsy doodles here. Love a motorway. Make sure that no additional houses or buildings can spawn in select places. Keep the map looking clean. Okay, I gotta get these dealt with here. Do we go all the way across? I don't think we do. This is gonna be a real dumb idea, but I'm gonna do it just for you. We're gonna motorway across there. We're gonna motor our way across because we're smart. Because we know what's up. I think we can afford to do this and only have that served by 2 because it's so close and it's a direct path. That's my thinking. I also realize I don't have the mouse on screen here, so maybe I could show the mouse. That might help y'all. There's the mouse. Mouse is helpful. You can see where I'm pointing. We don't have tunnels yet, so tunnels will be good. And look at this beautiful chaos unfolding in front of us. This is one of my favorite maps. And don't get to play it enough. That's a lie. I play it a lot. But I still don't... You can play something a lot and still not play it enough. That's the rule, you see. I'm okay with that. Oh, sleepy. No, so sleepy. This might be a night where I'm not with you particularly long. And we're particularly quiet about it. But you know what? Maybe that's okay. I don't think that's a bad thing, do you? I don't think it's a bad thing. We're just going to keep it zen. Have some chats with us if you'd like. Talk about your day. Talk about your week. We can talk more about the PAX if you're not sick of hearing about it yet. Certainly lots to discuss. Lots you're going to see. Lots you haven't seen yet. That's all coming. In due time, you see. Patience, young Padawan. Or else. What do you want me to say? Now that's inconvenient. Slightly more convenient. We need... Do we need more of those blues in service? Those light blues? Maybe we do. Let it roll. Are we on double time? We are indeed. We try to keep the different routes as separate as possible. Keep it as direct as possible so that we don't have a ton of overlap. That helps keeps things efficient. Moderate use of the roadway. We're already into week 6. A motorway might be helpful here, especially considering we're about to have an explosion here. Okay, so we have a lot going on. That'll work there. I'm going to get this motorway going. Throw it in action over yonder. See how badly that clogs things up on us. Or, even better, we do this. We separate these two. Then they're all fed directly by one source. Keeps it clean. We're not getting dirty nasty about it. Wonderfully done. But they're all so densely separated from each other, aren't they? I have to do that just to start getting some traffic going. Maybe that wasn't the best use of this second highway. It's going to be a challenge to get anything over there, but I need to get this stuff over there. But how? All right, so we may have to rethink all of this. We can do this, and then these guys... Let's think. They're going to need to feed down here unless I can get some of the... Well, I can get some of them over here. And these are just stranded, I guess. I don't have a... Well, maybe I have enough road tiles. Let's see. Let's give it a think. I'm thinking... That all feeds in there. What we can do is use this part to feed that one, and then these guys can just kind of do whatever. Now for this, 3 feeding this is not enough. So that can go, this can all go. And now these guys can be fed once that motorway is ready. And then this will feed this. Okay, so now we have the motorway ready. Motorway can't go over mountains. Of course it can't. How silly of me. That should work. Throw a traffic light here. Everyone's happy with that. World spins madly on. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I like it. I like it a lot. Traffic lights sound good there. That doesn't look so nice. Why did you place yourself there? How could you do this? How could you do this? So we're gonna have to feed it through this way, right? Now that's real quiet. I understand. I see. It's not enough traffic here to need a light or anything like that. There's a lot of green that we may need to funnel up this way. We're just gonna ride it on out for a moment here. I have some excess tunnels, so it may be worth... Yeah, let's do this. Let's feed that a little bit, and then let's give that some additional feed. Hey, there's a full metal here. We gotta love mini motorways, of course. Who doesn't love a good motorway? Full Metal, by the way, was also at PAX East and swirling around, and they had a whole mess of content for you. So if you haven't checked out Full Metal stuff on their YouTube channel, do so. It's all very immediate, kind of in the moment coverage of different booths and some of the action on the show floor and sort of what's around the convention center. So that's all very fun. Give that a look if you haven't. I like that it like kind of pitches the music down and gets a little sad when you like blow up a tree. We don't have nearly enough green here. Do we have a motorway? We don't. How do I get more green? I have a tunnel though, so here's what we're gonna do. We're going to reorchestrate this entire section here. So... this might require a bit of creativity. All right, so that needs a lot more attention, a lot more quickly. I only have one tunnel left, so I have to figure out. So if I take all of these and feed it over to this one, I got to get these guys over to the stadium here somehow without compromising the rest of this. I could take this tunnel out. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I don't have that luxury at this point. So we're going to do this and then have that branch off. That'll work. And then... Am I even going to have enough time to do this? All right, so now we have the second tunnel. So we can unplug this. We can make this our first roundabout. Yes, I like this very much. So now all of these guys can come through here to our green. Hopefully that doesn't clog things up too much. Right? Yes. And then this is going to be a longer route to this one, but it's what we have to do right now. Boom. And hopefully that's enough for us to satiate the green. And it's already looking good. Excellent. All right. Crisis averted for now. Can we get more blues going? Maybe we can. We got to get up here. What are you saying here? This game is so nice and cozy. Yes, that's exactly what we need. Post-PAX, you got to have some cozies. You got to calm down. You got to take a breather. You got to have yourself a little snack of sorts. And that's what we're doing here tonight. We just got back from the casino. Heather doubled her money at blackjack. Good for her. It's not guaranteed. That ain't easy. Lots of shorts about the show floor. We have some interviews I got to polish up, including a Helldivers one. Yeah, that of all the people to run into, right? How about someone from the Helldivers team? That's just crazy. Maybe not surprising because PAX is PAX, right? But how about it? All right, so now we're going to have even more crossover here. Not that I really want it. But Niall's got to have it. That's a Frasier reference for y'all. You know we got to do it to him. There's a whole lot of these beige ones and not a whole lot of beige to go around, so I'm getting a little concerned. Okay. Need more green. Understood. Where are we struggling here? Let's see. So we're feeding that one fine. This is going to need more green. So let's go around with this. This way we can have an unobstructed way to get over here. That'll matter a little bit. See, that's going to hold it up. You know what we can do too? I should have just done this from the beginning. I don't like having to go around it like this, but that's going to save us from blockading ourselves there. Do we really not have enough to feed both of these? I guess not. We got the motorway, though. Let's see. We got enough traffic lights. How will a motorway help us here? We need... Service is needed in layaway. This is severely underfed. Can I tunnel? I can. So I can tunnel through here and help that yellow. That would be good. Let's start there. Yeah. That'll give us a lot of feed into that. This is going to overflow very quickly if we don't do something about that. And so is this. Oh my god. Okay, we have a lot happening here. Let's... Okay, so we got to get these guys in action first. So let's get him here, and then let's go boop, boop, boop. Just like that, and then go bam, 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 balam. That might give us a little bit of help. That clog in the middle there is a problem, so let's do this. Okay, everyone's on fire. I understand. I know you're all freaking out. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. As you were. Get more yellows there, maybe. No, and that is... That's gonna do it. Not bad, though. 1763. That's pretty good. That's about... I usually can rack up that kind of score in Wellington. There can be only none. I love all the challenges. Love them, love them, love them. All right, let's do another map. How about we do Warsaw? So there's a bunch of these later ones that I just haven't done on this platform yet. So we're just going to tear through a bunch here tonight. This is Warsaw, Poland. I didn't even mention the D20s, did I? And that's important because we, of course, went dice shopping at PAX, and we have a beautiful new set of Dispel dice to showcase for the dice cam here. Ooh, ah, nice, beautiful Price is Right flourish. I don't know if you can see it super, super well, but they are... Oh, yeah, that's nice. They are gorgeous. They're almost like rainbow colored-esque and like multicolored and oh, they're synthetic dreams, they're called. This was the set that I had wanted from Dispel for a while. I meant to get them at PAX Unplugged in 24, and they were sold out by the time I got around to the booth. Sad but true. So finally got them here, and I'm very, very happy about it. So exclamation point D20, you can roll those puppies at your leisure, and we have the full cavalcade of dice here for our rewards. And again, just look at how shiny. Look at how shiny. It's beautiful. I might be able to get you a better shot on the main camera here too. Look at that. Nope. Unless it chooses to focus on them, which it kind of did. Come on now. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, they're beautiful, and trust me on it. It is just they're gorgeous, and we love them very much. Exclamation point D20 to give them an inaugural roll here on camera. I lost my 20. Okay. I'm already feeling traffic lights here, since we have a direct overlap already. Why not? I was wondering how these were going to show up on camera too, since they're bright and shiny and etc. But I think they look pretty nice. Now, this is the part, if there's anything to complain about with mini motorways, it's how long the early game takes to get you to the interesting stuff, right? You kind of sit on these very, very slow first couple of weeks with no way to really bullet through them, and that can be a little monotonous. So if there's any real complaint that I have, and there's very few about mini motorways, that's probably my number one complaint, that these early rounds where there's just not a whole lot going on and you're building your network out slowly, it's probably a little too slow. But that's most of the concern here. Otherwise, this is, you know, among the best kind of casual games of its ilk. Wonderful kind of pick up and play for a while. And there are a while, you know, most games will go for, you know, 20, 25 minutes if you're solid at it. So it's a pretty good little chunk of time sink, if you ask me. And you don't even have to, because I'm going to talk about it anyway. Asked and answered without even being asked. That's the sailor's way. Nice colors. You see it kind of slowly zooming out to start giving you more room on the map and for more things to grow in. So that's always fun. I have a lone bridge that we're going to have to burn. Get it? On this. Unless we pop the motorway, which we may. We'll just do this and make sure that we have exit points so it doesn't just go directly into this building and do nothing else. All about efficiencies here. Jawfield. Who doesn't love an efficiency? Oh my gosh. We are sleepy. And we're rolling right into another very busy. May is basically my month of just zoom. I'm like a Mazda commercial because I'm just zooming. Last weekend was obviously PAX, and we're out in Boston for I think 5 nights. We got out there late Wednesday to get our badges and get set up at the hotel. The whole show was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we left later on Monday afternoon. Got a bridge anyway. Okay. Oh, we got a lot going on. Okay, Yep, okay. That's a longer trek there, so I'm gonna pop the motorway now. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do this. Nicely done. Beautifully done. So yeah, and then we came back. I had left my car at work, and my commute is like 80, 90 minutes one way. So by the time I got back on Monday, it was probably close to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Right into work the next day. And so now, we got one. There's a lot happening here. Now I go right into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Atlantic City for my very, very, very close friend's wedding that I am in. So that's the whole weekend. We'll get back from that probably sometime on Sunday. Then we got Monday and Tuesday as normal days. And then Wednesday, we fly out of the country for Sarah, Miss Nephroptosis' 30th birthday celebration. And that will go, I think, Wednesday to Monday, or Wednesday to Sunday. So I got a lot going on, is the point there. So it's just a crazy, crazy May with a lot happening. And thankfully, after Memorial Day, everything sort of dies down, and there's nowhere for me to be for a good long while, which is good, because I don't want to be anywhere for a good long while. Oh, man. You can just hear the excitement in my voice, can't you? No, I know. Oh, no. I'm always afraid of running out of, like, bridges or tunnels or whatever capacity planning thing I need. So we're always careful about that. And see, this is why we need the 2 bridges. Are you expecting me to cart their asses all the way over there? Absolutely not. Sir and or madam. State your case. Well, I guess I'm going to have to. That's going to be such a long... And I can't really, because there's bridges here already, so... Oof. You know what I can do? Oh, I can clog the shit out of this, maybe. But I gotta feed this somehow, and there's not enough. Oh my god. Oh, there's so much happening here. What am I doing? So that needs to happen. Now I gotta get these guys over here. So I have this motorway running. Do I just make that? I might just have to make that a normal bridge. Yeah. And then once the motorway's ready here, we just fly over all this traffic, yeah? It's gonna have to be it, and very awkwardly crammed in at that. I don't know how. There we go. It's an inelegant solution, but it is at least a solution. That's not helping. That's not helping one bit. Let's see. Maybe around a boot will be helpful here. Like right here. Like right now. Break it down for me. See how that works. The roundabout, you kind of need traffic structured in a specific way to make it efficient. Hopefully that helps. And we got a lot feeding there, so I think we're good on the light greens, right? That's probably fine. Looking pretty good. We're at 630 passengers. You can't see it because it's behind my face. But that's okay. Second bridge, I guess, would be more helpful there. Is there any way I can get down there helpfully? Yes, there is. See if they'll take the bait on that. Yeah, I hear you. Okay. We gotta clear this mess up. And get over there. Oh, God. Okay. These three are really gunking up the space. But now, we're gonna kind of have this serve both. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. They're all gonna get on that motorway. I hate this, but it's gonna kind of have to be that. They do this. This does this. That solves that problem. We'll probably throw a traffic light on that. And this now we have to figure out. Tell me about it. What is... So really, we kind of need those two over here, but that's not going to happen. So let's... How do I get over here with as little friction as possible? Pull some of these guys, because this isn't very busy. That would probably help. But I got to cross so much to do it. It's really just this, right? This is going to look disgusting, but bear with me here. Ugh, no. And just run that parallel. Oh, that's so gnarly. And maybe that just isn't busy enough. Oh, because that blocks that, but that's so unserious also. Maybe that's okay. Maybe. That could solve a few problems for me here. Actually, that'll solve a lot of problems for me here. So let's get rid of all of this. I don't know if this is the best use of the motorway, so we can repeal it if need be, but we can... take this, push it somewhere else. And that should work. Now the whole thing is flowing properly. Bot be gone. Not nice. Okay. Anything screaming? Yes. Well, that's convenient because this is right here. Everything's looking okay. This feels very stapled together, but it's kind of working. If you're just tuning in, if you're just joining us, welcome in. This is a very chill, quiet night here on the stream post-PAX as we recover from the insanity of the show, and I'm knee-deep in an incredibly busy May. You are watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, I'm Cheatspeak, and it's mini Motorways night here on the stream. Sometimes you just need a quiet little night with your Motorways, and this is one of those nights. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you're in the mood for some chill vibes here. We are 1,000... passengers or trips or whatever. That's a trip counter, right? Something like that. Into Warsaw, Poland, and that's where we're at here, folks. Catch us up a little bit because we've been out and about. We have programming notes for you as always. There is much more PAX East coverage to come on the channel, so hopefully you're not sick of that. I think we have probably a good 3 or 4 more interviews to give you, right? There's 2 that we filmed on Sunday that are not done. There's 1 more from earlier on in the show that's not done yet. So we'll probably have content coming for you well into the weekend if we continue to post 1 interview a day. And then we'll have, you know, various shorts and things that are clipped out of that as well. So lots to come. Hope you're enjoying the content. Hope it's been interesting for you to take a look at and enjoy and learn a little something off of, perhaps. This was a very, very busy show for us. I was running some numbers, and with what we're expecting to have completely published and done from the show in terms of just like streams and interviews, this is our densest and most content-rich PAX yet. And that also means... well, I'm derailing my own train of thought here because I need to... I gotta solve this red situation. I have a bunch of bridges, so I might have to literally burn one here. And we do. But yeah, this was our most prolific PAX in terms of content. So that... oh, I already hate it. Look at that. Look at that insane traffic jam. That's not good. Hopefully, will it alleviate itself? I'm keeping close eyes on that. Same, except it was our first. Yeah, see? Well, it's like winning by default is still winning, right? That's the adage or something along those lines. Oh, that's not good. That's very unhelpful. Just wait until you have like 10 interviews a show on the schedule. Full metal. And multiple live streams. Because we pretty much ran the gamut. I think when all is said and done, we'll definitely have more, I was going to say sit down, but, you know, regular interviews than we've ever had at a show. And live streams about the same because we ended up with, you know, a show floor tour like we always do. And then we did the charity live stream on Thursday. To open the show up with, more or less, and that went, you know, beyond anything that we could have asked for. So we're pleased with that for sure. I think we'll have 5 fully fledged interviews and a few mini impromptu. There you go. Plus all the shorts that I know you're going to be cranking out. I'm taking the rest of this time to be with fam, but next week we'll be powering through the footage. And there's always a lot of footage to go through. It's, you know, we bury Sari in footage and B-roll and stuff to go through, but she always powers through it fantastically well. And we are routinely pretty prompt in getting things done, or at least we try to be, because the farther out you get from PAX, right, the less relevant a lot of that content becomes, especially if it's like show floor dependent, right? That once you're, you know, a few days past the show, it you know, kind of loses its luster. So I think we'll have everything out within a week of the show ending, which is great. And a lot of those interviews aren't necessarily very time bound anyway, so that's often helpful. I'm gonna mix this up a little bit. This should help keep things a little more direct. And it does indeed make it more direct. $2,000 trips. We are on fire. We are doing super good. I want a bridge. I need a bridge. I need an egg. All right, so we need some help here, but I only have... It's not really a question of getting them over there. I just need more of these beige folks, right? So can I steal anybody from here to get over there? I have a motorway. Let's see if we can finagle this at all. I could probably just leave this on the main route and hope it doesn't screw it up too much. But if there's extra capacity here, and it looks like there is, what I may be able to do is have this... Can I have this intersect? I kind of can. So it'll go with the traffic here, and then I can just connect the two like that. And that should open up a whole lot of capacity for us, and it does. Let's see if that's helpful. See, they're going to go over to that one, though, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. And then we might have some from here going over here, and that's not super helpful. We'll see. I tried to focus any show floor before we ended to try and drive them while they were still there. Yeah, I mean, if you're actively doing booth tours and advertising, sales, and giveaways, that kind of needs to be the most prudent content. That's why I didn't sleep Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, I saw that in the Discord. You were up until what, like 4, 5, 6 a.m. and that's also not good. And I mean, we've run ourselves ragged in the past on shows, stretching ourselves too thin, and that's where you kind of got to find a balance where, you know, straight up when we were working on our coverage. Because let me take a real quick look. We're gonna have a little spoiler alert here for you in terms of content here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interviews up on the channel now, and I think we have 1, 2, 3 more to go. So we'll have 9 total interviews, and they're pretty lengthy ones. The shortest one is 9 minutes 55 seconds. The longest one is 25 minutes. Most of them fall within that 10 to 12 minute range, though. So that's 9 interviews across 4 days. There was the live stream that I did Thursday night that didn't wrap up until late, and I didn't eat that entire day. And that stream was 2.5 hours long, where we played Mario Kart 8 from the show floor, and we had the 45-minute show floor tour that took about an hour of prep just for that, for setting all the equipment up. So that was about like our real threshold of what we were able to realistically accomplish without stretching ourselves so thin that we're... And I mean, I'm a little unwell. Like, I haven't been feeling great the past couple of days, like 48 hours. I'm not like sick, but like not full on PAX, but I'm certainly worn down. And that's where we sort of hit our max and our cap on, we can't realistically produce any more than this, especially at the show, where you get so caught up in producing and interviewing and editing and doing media stuff that you end up not actually enjoying the show. So we wanted to actually have fun and enjoy ourselves. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut this short. I'm gonna bring these guys down and around. So that we have extra capacity for this guy since he's almost full. And hopefully that helps us. Actually, what I should do, bring this down this way. The longer way through, but I think that's going to help long term. This is getting real clogged. I see what the problem is. Oh, this is getting real clogged. Okay, that's real bad. Can I unclog that? I'm trying to think what else I can do. Maybe... I'm going to take a motorway, and here's what I'm going to try to do. I might try to just rebuild this entire thing. And again, cleave off part of this so that I can get them over there more efficiently. So let me try this. I'm going to leave those connected. I'm going to have these 4 feeding into each other. And then I'm going to have a motorway here going straight to this guy. So we have a more direct connection. Hopefully that alleviates some traffic, and then the rest of them that are here can go straight down. And even that I can probably simplify. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. These are my confessions. So if I cut all of this out, that gives me a much straighter, more direct line here. And then I can take this and feed them directly over here. And that's going to be a lot easier and direct for that. If it survives. And they're all queuing up, so that looks like that's going to work. Oh, this is much more efficient. Oh, this is very good. Okay, we're like just cusping here. I think we're okay. We have a lot of trips going. This is crazy. We are right on the borderline of the throughput here. We needed every one of those damn it! We needed every one of those motorways. 2,869 commuters traveled on your roads in over 116. That's pretty good. That's really good. But yeah, with PAX, like I was saying, that really was our limit. And what I was building to with that part of the discussion was that there were other games that we wanted to do interviews for and just didn't have the bandwidth to cover, where it would have just been one too many things on a given day, one too many things for us to edit in a timely fashion. So we kind of had to cap it a little bit. Even though there's 3 of us, working the show all at once, it's still a lot of work, for the level of quality and the output that we try to hit. You can only do so much and still enjoy your time at the show. So, 2 examples were Retroware was there. We didn't have a scheduled appointment with them, but they had like the Toxic Crusaders game and AVGN 8-Bit, which is one that I really wanted to get some interviews for and to dig into. And unfortunately, that just the scheduling didn't work out. And there was also a later edition publisher that specializes in horror games called Dread XP. They had a game that was there called Pigface that they said was inspired by the older Rockstar game Manhunt, which I played a lot of and I was interested in. Even though horror isn't really our genre and we don't dig into it a whole lot, and I don't personally love the horror genre myself, I was curious to check it out. And the schedule conflicted too much on Sunday and we just weren't able to meet up with them. And I apologized profusely to them for not being able to make it. But, those are the kind of things that you kind of feel out across time, right? You understand, I can only do so much. There's, it's my first PAX, or I haven't done this in a while, or we still kind of hit that constraint where when we open up to new shows we've never done, like PAX West, and maybe some others this year down the road that we're going to try, and some other conventions that are on our radar, you can really quickly end up overextending and putting yourself down for the count. And then you end up getting sick, and then you end up producing even so much less than you thought you were going to, because you needed all this time once you were home to edit and get on top of things. And that gets stretched out by 2 days, 4 days a week because you're sick. So it's really challenging, and part of the learning curve on that is just getting a steady workflow in the first place, so you can pump out things reasonably quickly in the moment and not spend a ton of time editing really short or basic stuff. But then, understanding that cadence of how much can I realistically do in the time that's allotted me here. So, and I know you weren't even there all 4 days, right? Right, Full Metal? So that's an added challenge where you're almost, you're trying to pack in all this stuff into 3 days worth of content and presence instead of 4. So I certainly get that. And it's hard. So yeah, my main kind of takeaways that I've learned over time is just to be realistic about it. And of course, over time, you find efficiencies and ways to improve your own process so that you can crank things out faster and more efficiently, and you can get more done at each show when you're there and kind of banging out content, right? But there's always a learning curve. And this needs some attention. Oh, no. Let's see. Oh, good timing there. Good. It was wild. It all just kind of happened. It was really just the 2 days for work and then birthday and anything fun we'd want to point a camera at for Sunday. But I was full on host mode the first 2 days. Yes, you were. And that has its own stressors, right? Because it's you know, like from my perspective, when we're doing interviews and things like that, especially if it's kind of that more professionalized context and it's not just, you know, a very informal, like, tell us about your thing, we're learning about you for the first time. There's a lot of, from like a host perspective, there's a lot of prep work that should go into it if you're going to put forward some kind of polished product, right? So when we book interviews, when we work with publishers or developers to try to get a spotlight on their content, we try to go in with a good, thorough understanding of what their game is about, what some of the history is behind it, and how their process works from a creative standpoint. Because you owe it to them to sort of have done your research and your homework and know what it is that they're about before you know, walk up very obviously knowing nothing and learning as you go. I want a roundabout here. That's what I want. That looks good. I hope. I guess that'll all feed. Oh, you know what? I don't even have to do that. You can feed in from that way. So it's hard. So, you know, you kind of, when being host mode, right? Again, you want to be considerate and respectful of the developers by understanding what it is they're working on going in. So that takes research. You understand the studio's history. You do a little pre-interview with them, talk about their, you know, background, their story, their development ideals, that sort of thing. And then you get into it. I say that because, and Justin loves telling this story. When we were greener at this, I want to say 2018 or 2019, whenever Super Meat Boy Forever was there, this was back in the TSSE days, we had an interview with them, and research, just point and shoot because we're newbies. Well, I mean, if you're stumbling upon things and it's a real informal, like, oh my god, you know, tell me about this game, a lot of the time developers, especially indie ones, are just happy to talk about it. Especially smaller, like really, really small booths off on the side where they're not getting a lot of attention. They're just happy to have, you know, a microphone on them at all. Like you're saying here, people saw our mic and flocked to us, actually. It was nice being the center of attention. That's exactly it. You know, they're just looking to talk about the game and share their enthusiasm for what they're working on and their love of the industry and whatever else it is. So it doesn't have to be all that super hyper polished, you know, IGN level expose that, you know, at least we normally try to do. Everyone has their own cadence and way about it. And sometimes there is an appeal in just sort of like organically walking up to someone that you've never met and knowing nothing about it and just being like, hey, this caught my eye, tell me about it. And everyone's going to be happy to do that, more or less. You know, we were talking about this recently. I forget exactly what the context was of just like getting the attention of different developers and how it all comes together. And so much of the time, people will just be happy to talk to you about their game, no matter who you are, no matter what your own story is. They just want to talk about the game that they're passionately working on. And we've never, I was, you know, kind of replaying some of this with Justin and everyone. I don't think we've ever been denied an interview request where we were like, hey, we don't have a specific appointment with you, but we love this. Could you talk about your game at all? No one's ever told us no. There have been caveats to that where some have been like, yeah, but I won't do it on camera, or I'm camera shy, or can we just audio record, whatever it is. So there will be yes buts, but never straight up no's that I've seen. So, you know, there's really no harm in just sort of walking up to people, basically no matter the size, and just sort of saying, hey, you want to talk about your game with us really quickly? We think it's cool. Everyone's going to say yes to that, more or less. And I mentioned the scope of it because that's what we did with Remedy back in the day when we interviewed them for Control, which I've played before and I still have never forgotten, because that was just such a, not a we made it moment, but very much a a defining step in our, quest across content creation in the industry and whatever. We were just playing Control. I mentioned that I had a history of enjoying the studio's content, and we would love to come back for, an interview with your comms director if you're up for it. And they were so gracious with their time, and they were one of the marquee publishers on the show floor. So they absolutely could have said no to, me with our I don't even think TSSC had a mic flag. So just me with like an SM58 running around and pointing it in people's faces, but they didn't. They were super courteous about it. They were excited to talk about it, and that's the case pretty much with everyone you're going to run into. So there's no harm. There's arguably there's more harm in not introducing yourselves to these developers and saying hello and expressing interest in their product. So you just do it, right? I'm speaking of just do it. That. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Oh, this is not good. Let's do that. And good thing I have a bridge. But yeah, we, have tried to figure out across time those ways to do this sustainably, where we don't end up completely burning ourselves out and, basically getting sick from the whole experience, and then that backs us up further. So you kind of figure that out over time. And you start to realize how much you're able to do realistically with the size of the team that you have and expressing interest in it. Because like I was saying, and where I was going with it before was when I did that interview with Super Meat Boy Forever, Tommy Refens, I forget the guy's name even because I've just blocked the whole thing out. Yeah, Tommy Refens. The sole, well, one of the, solo-ish guys that worked on Super Meat Boy and Super Meat Boy Forever. We interviewed him for Super Meat Boy Forever. I was very, very hungover. I really didn't know a damn thing about it. So I just played it really briefly and tried to interview him, which he, did for us, which, I mean, we had an appointment, but he didn't have to do it. And he could tell that I was hungover, and he could tell that I was struggle bussing. it was professionally mortifying, as you might expect. I'm gonna do this. I can't do that. No, I don't have the motor. See, you cancel the motorway, and you can't get it back until all the cars are done on that specific trip, which is annoying. So they will just build up there. This is a disaster. I would have to rework this entire thing, but I've been talking too much. You can hear them honking in the background. Can I help this out at all? I might just let this one flop around. Honk honk. Yeah, we had 1,000. That's probably enough. So it just went incredibly poorly because I was super unprepared and I didn't know anything about it, and we were trying to make it look like it was just like a normal professional interview where we knew what we were talking about, and that absolutely wasn't the case. So ever since that, I've tried very hard to come in prepared to whatever it is that we're taking a look at, and so I can speak and ask questions reasonably authoritatively about the content of the game. So I'm not asking, why is this mechanic new and it's been in the series for 10 years, right? A good example of that, and what we started doing this year to kind of optimize our time, was a lot of the games that you see on the show floor at PAX have demos up on Steam. And even this year, there was sort of a PAX East showcase on Steam where you could get demos or the fully playable versions of games that were on the show floor. So it was sort of like that, PAX at home experience if you didn't go to the show or you couldn't. So I started to leverage that for a couple of games that we had interviews for to play their demo beforehand and really do some research going into it. A good example of that is one that we'll be posting in the next few days for a 90s-esque, like Sierra Games style point-and-click adventure game called Perfect Tides, Station to Station. It is a sequel to, stay with me on this one, Perfect Tides, which is they're both sort of coming-of-age types of games, and they're very wittily written by a woman who had a very successful and popular webcomic for a long time. Octopus Kid, I think it was called, or Octopus Pie. It was called Octopus Pie. So, you know, that was kind of the perfect storm situation that really pushed me to make sure I knew what I was talking about, because it was basically Super Meat Boy Forever all over again. It was a sequel to a game I had never played with a notable and kind of famous creator, mechanics that build on the original, and I know nothing about it. So I was determined to not have it be another Super Meat Boy Forever kind of sitch, and that's what we were able to do. So I experimented with that, played the demo ahead of time, and I went, did my research, understood what the appeal of the original game was, looked up her webcomic, read more about her history, and went in, I think, with a pretty good informed kind of stack of questions in my head. And, she seemed to appreciate the legwork that went into coming in prepared. So everybody won, and I think we got an interesting interview out of it, and again, that'll go up on the channel probably in the next couple of days. So when I talk about, finding ways to become more efficient and effective at what you're doing and kind of refining your approach, that's one way that we even found more efficiency this year. And I mean, I've been doing it a long time, but there's always some way you can do things better or more efficiently or make it more fun. And that's one we had never tried that worked out really well. Playing a demo ahead of time and doing research that way. With the caveat of how I would do it is I would check with them to be like, hey, there's a demo up on Steam. We played it already. Is the demo you're showing any different? If it is substantially different, then yeah, we'll go through and play the new demo to see what's changed. But if it's largely the same, that optimizes our time so that we can just focus on doing the interview, setting it up, introducing different ideas, doing the pre-interview and talking to them and then going. That also is really helpful because sometimes a lot of these demos on the show floor are rather long. We had a couple where I was probably playing it for a good 15 to 25 minutes. And that's a long time, especially when there's multiple demos from a single publisher that we're doing and we're trying to cover multiple games in one sitting. Especially for Justin and Teresa, who are there more in a crew capacity, because they typically don't play the demos along with me unless it's co-op. It's really boring for them to just sit there for 20 minutes watching me struggle through a puzzle game and then need to go talk about it. Obviously, that's not super fun for them. So that's a way for us to kind of optimize our time while we're at the show in terms of how much we can do and make it a little more fun for them. So again, they're not just kind of sitting there watching me play a game, probably poorly, for a long, long time. So that's all part of the fun. And honestly, it's fun when you're fresh, like Full Metal we were talking about before. Like when you're fresh and new at it, you are like figuring it all out as you go, and you're trying to put it all together sort of like more spontaneously, right? And then you sort of iterate and find your own approach out of that, and you figure out, oh, I did this last year, but I want to try this year, or let's run around and do this year. I didn't want to do that. Oh, that would be so cool. And you sort of naturally evolve that way. So you find those initial steps in that starting point, and then you just sort of launch from there, and it's really fun. So more power to you. I need a beverage. You want a chair stream for a minute while this all goes? We're early still. I'm just gonna grab a drink quick because I am my throat's telling me I need it. Enjoy the chair. I'm gonna let it run in the background here. Oh dear. What an angry stop that is. Well, let's fix that right now. One thing that was interesting too, while we're kind of on the subject, and Full Metal, I'm sure you'll start to see this if you're there in like an actual content creator capacity in future shows, but it's interesting how that perspective changes with the people around you. And we've noticed this most when we're credentialed as media. We've kind of flopped back and forth over the years. I don't know exactly how PAX delineates who's content creator versus who's media and how they give those badges out. But when we're there under media credentials, I find that when we're just sort of sitting down, like interacting with people or working on stuff, or even just up in the media room or the press room doing things, we get a lot of questions more along the lines of like, what's good at the show? So like, what's got your attention? Who are you interviewing? What, has caught your eye? What's the best thing you've played so far? So when you're there in that capacity, a lot of the time people tend to want your feedback on what's interesting, what should they look at, what have you been covering, and taking all of that into account. So you'll probably see some more of those kinds of questions as the effort grows, because people see that you're there in that capacity, which means, oh, they must, have access to all these things, and they're, doing research and all this stuff. What do they know? So that's fun. I can't, oh man, I don't have a, how do I gotta use a motorway until that bridge comes together. That's annoying. A lot of this stuff is gonna need attention. This is a very silly road. My pal's back! There's Vinny. How we doing? We're having a nice chill mini Motorways night because PAX was exhausting. And this entire month of May is exhausting. And I'm sick of being exhausted. But here we are. So a nice quiet night was in order, I think. So is some sneezing. Oh my goodness. I am the DOT. No! Everyone's worst nightmare come true. I am the driver's license. Take that, you scrubs. Smile for your photo. You don't have to. You do, though. I'm going to do this. Because I can eliminate this entire section, and I think I can make this more efficient. But I don't know how exactly. I could cut across. Yeah, so I can do this. And pick up a couple more along the way. Yay. It's a little bit better, right? I don't know how it's going to play out. Let's see. Oh, very not good. Understood. I have a bridge. I have nothing to get them over here. So that's bad. Now I do. Here's what we're going to do here. We're going to split this off. Do that. And these guys are going this way, which I can just move the motorway up here if that's the case. Take that. Let's take that in your pipe and pipe it. But I'm gonna wanna here. This is the problem. So, oh, but it's right here and I want it right there. What do I do about it? I gotta condense all of this somehow. I wish I could have them share the same bridge. I can't really. Also, my new favorite just do it line is now slam a few for mom. That's a stone cold classic now. I'm very proud of that one. I forget exactly how that came up, but we were walking by the Voodoo Ranger beer lounge at PAX on Sunday, because that was Mother's Day, and someone said something to the effect of like slam a few back for mom. It might have been me, it might have been Justin, but that was sort of the theme. I'll play the clip. I'll pull up the Discord. Exclamation point Discord if you want to get in on that so you can hear and see all this stuff for yourself. I think that might have been the last thing we posted in... One second. Oh, let's see. I was just getting the audio ready here. Voodoo Ranger.
Slam a few for mom.
That's that played. All right, that's good. That's about what you have to look forward to there. Voodoo Ranger.
Slam a few for mom.
That's beautiful. That's a glowing advertisement. So exclamation point Discord if you want the video to go with that audio. What the hell do I do? Oh, I don't have enough time. All right, I gotta compromise something here. Idea. That's what it's gonna have to be. And are we just not going? Or are we too good for you? It's gonna be way too late. Oh no. Literally at the door. You ever been at the door of something and they like lock it on you and it's like we're closed? Come back later. Piss off. Busan. We go to Korea. Excellent. Oh, rivers already. Don't we just love it? So yeah, slam a few for mom. Them's the rules. While we struggle through the early stages of these games, you gotta entertain yourself, and the best way to do that is to slam a few for mom. Which I'm currently doing. Right here, right now. Voodoo Ranger.
Slam a few for mom.
Hashtag slam a few for mom. Slam a few. I was very pleased with that one. Go faster. Hashtag hashtag Mother's Day. Hashtag hard charged or something along those lines. Did we show off all the goodies that we got at PAX? I can show you a few goodies while we're doing this. I was gonna use them tonight, but I couldn't get them charged and connected in time because I took forever getting going. But I think we posted this on the channel in the Discord as well. During the course of PAX, look at these bright, shiny new things. These aren't the normal headphones. No siree, no siree. Ooh. Oh, so soft, so lovely, so contoured. These are the Void Wireless V2s, I believe, from Corsair, which were my extreme moment of victory at the Red Bull Creators after party on Friday night, where Red Bull brought in this pro FIFA guy to MC this big like giveaway event, and there were competitions and challenges and all this kind of stuff, and I did one of the first ones, which was just me against another creator guy for like a 60-second score attack in Tony Hawk, the newest like 1+2 remake. And whoever got the highest score would walk away with whatever from this like very lavishly done up like Corsair giveaway table. So they had like headphones, they had keyboards, they had mice, like expensive accessories. So of course I demolished the man. It was like 90,000 to like 15,000 points. It wasn't even close. And I walked away with that beautiful new headset from Corsair, courtesy of Red Bull and such. So that was very, very fun, and that was nice. So I did win that. We also won. Well, I also won. Sarah has it, but Razer was having a big giveaway every day at their booth. So we did this little, roulette wheel, and I won their like snake brand, they're like Snecky Snack, an eye mask for use on like airplanes and things. So I gave it to Sarah, and it's really cute. It's in there, and she's been sleeping because she has not been well the past couple days. So that was really fun. And there were other winnings with the group throughout the night and throughout the weekend. So that was really cool. I also did buy, so like I showed before, a couple of fun purchases as well. A couple of Stardew themed things for her, since she ultimately didn't end up attending the show this year. Didn't want her to miss out. But you saw the new dice that we have. So the Synthetic Dreams dice from Dispel, and how absolutely gorgeous they are. That's the D6, which is just, oh, it's unbelievable. It's like a full sparkly multicolor phenomenon. It's awesome. And because they had it for a good price, I did end up buying a game, as one does. And it was from this kind of like local game store in the Boston area that had set up shop as one does at East. I hate when this happens. You see that, where it gets connected to a different color than you normally use. I'm going to re-architect all of this to avoid dealing with that. Purely out of spite. This is super inefficient, but I don't care. But that also helps me connect these directly, which is good. So I did buy a game. Where is it over here? You'll probably see it on the channel at some point, but I got a copy of Star Fox Guard, of all things, the tower defense game that kind of came out alongside Star Fox Zero on the Wii U all those years ago. Like I said, really, really good price, and it was, I think it was like $7 or something like that. And that's like its absolute floor on places like eBay without shipping. So I thought that was a good deal. And normally when you buy stuff at those kinds of shows, I kind of refer to it as the PAX tax, where things tend to be more expensive or maybe not the best deal there. Sometimes you know, vendors will run promos and deals and have exclusive stuff there that you can't get outside of the show, and hashtag FOMO and all the rest. But not always. And so whenever you can get a decent deal on stuff like that, I tend to take it. And I probably could have bought more, but I literally got over to their booth. This is what I was talking about with not being able to, like, properly enjoy the show, right? A lot of our sort of buying and trolling, aside from, like, hitting Dispel early, because I really, really wanted to make sure I got the dice that I want. I also got a pair of a set of Dispel, another set of Dispel dice for Sarah, that she really wanted. And they're beautiful. I think Arctic Bloom was the set I got her. This stream not sponsored by Dispel, but oh, don't I wish. We didn't get around to doing a lot of that hardcore shopping for, like, gifts and presents and the fun stuff until late Saturday afternoon. I don't think I really dug into some of the vendors until like 4 or 5 o'clock on Saturday, and the show closed at 6. So that's what I mean when I say, like, you kind of budget your time out and you know, want to leave some room to actually explore the show and have fun, because then otherwise you're cramming it all into just a couple of hours, you know, on maybe one day, and that's not fun. So I can't resolve this myself. What do I do? What do I do? I could get rid of this. I have one bridge I can deal with here. One. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to have them all use this motorway. So we have to be a little bit efficient about this. And once that's ready, we'll connect over for this guy too. But of course we have to wait until everyone crosses over and gets off of it so that the highway can reconnect. And now we get the flood of people driving across this. That should work. Might need a traffic light here. It seems reasonable, yeah. Okay. Okay, at least I get a bridge. Oh God. Okay, this is not ideal. I'm assuming I'm gonna get more over here. Yeah. All of a sudden, I somehow don't have enough bridges again. Do it for Mom. Slam a few for Mom. Duh. One bridge, two bridge, red bridge, blue bridge. I don't know what kind of bridge. I don't have... Oh my God. I need more bridge. How does one... I gotta combine some of these, don't I? I just don't know the bandwidth. I don't have the banana width. Alright, so I have to do this for starters. And then I need to figure out how to connect the rest of this. So are we just going to make this like the most ridiculous choke point we can imagine? We might have to. I don't feel good about it, but I need 2 bridges. I'm going to have to combine some things here. I can probably get away with this. And having those share that. It's going to get pretty busy, but I don't really have a choice. Because now I have my 2 bridges. This isn't Fort knows. No, this is not mini metro. But we out here anyway. How you doing? Bah, not cut out for DOT work. Saying things like, I don't feel good about this is not in their handbook, pal. Well, maybe that's why I'm not actually cut out for this. So I'm going to have to bring this over here too. Oh, jeez. This is just all disgusting. I need something out of this pronto. Fix this fucking calamity. Oh, that's great. Even more traffic on this single bridge. What could possibly go wrong? Single lane road through a major city interchange? Yeah, send it. You know how this works. Oh yeah, see, look at this. Look at this absolute disaster field here. I need another bridge just to have those connect directly through, because this is not going to work. That will, though. That'll work big time. So I can disconnect this. I can... Or is that okay? That might be okay, because that's not really the problem. What I can do... is I can disconnect this and recombine these guys into one separate motorway that just feeds this like a bridge. Great. I really need to get more attention over there, though. How do I do that? Because I only have this one. So this is just not cutting it. Neither is this. But it will in a second. I guess I could connect to that bridge, but I'm going to have to, like, carve all the way through there, and I don't love that. Oh, man. We are getting achievements. We are that good. Swipe or no swiping. Alright, so I have to... I mean, we need some drastic changes quick here, right? I'm going to have to just cut them across this, and hopefully there's not a lot of traffic that's going to get in the way of that. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh my god. But I have to do it. I don't have a choice here. Nope. that wasn't gonna do it. 463, that's pretty bad. But we'll try one more brand new city here that I haven't done yet, and then we'll call it a night maybe. Reykjavik. Iceland is on probably the top 3 of my international travel list. I have heard nothing but amazing things. My incredibly well-traveled cousin, who used to work for FEMA and the Peace Corps, has also put Iceland at like the absolute top of her international destination list, and I trust her I would trust her with my life. So it's way up there, and I'm very excited to check it out at some point. Yeah, you heard me. We out here wrecking your Vic. Is that the cousin your family compares you to? We all have one. No, she is, she's, oh God, she's got to be in her 70s at this point. So that's, that there's a very large degree of, a large disparity there. There are cousins who were more in that group of comparison, especially like local ones that we were closer with when I was growing up, and until recently when the matriarchs of the family all started passing away. But that was more in terms of like who's in a relationship, who's going to be married first, who's going to have kids first, not so much like a professional or sort of cultural comparison, if that makes sense. Like they didn't care like who was going on more fancy trips or like who was out there making moves career-wise. They were more talking about, you know, oh, well, you know, did you find a nice girl yet? Oh, well, you know, my granddaughter's pregnant for the 3rd time, or this is going to be her 2nd baby, and we're so excited. So it's all just kind of the emphasis, you know. Different people place the emphasis different places, right? I gotta figure this out. Hold on. 'Cause we just have a gaggle of stuff happening here. God, this is a mess. Yeah, and I mean that's mostly where the conversations went. Most of the extended family, though, it's not really that sort of thinking. It's more of, you know, just sort of keeping up in healthy ways, if that makes sense, and just sort of, you know, how is X going, or what's, you know, ABC with your career, but more of that just genuine curiosity of how's your relationship going, are kids on the radar, whatever. Not in a competitive sort of way of like, oh, you know, cousin A is on her, you know, she's gonna have her 3rd kid, and it's like racing to see who can pump them out faster, you know. Especially with that's a generational thing too, right? Where that tends to be the thing, you know, the Gen Xers or the boomers tend to be more interested in, especially because family sizes tended to be a lot bigger with their parents' generations and that kind of thing. From like a millennial, especially from like a Gen Z perspective, that's just not really something that's on people's radars for the most part, or that people are super concerned with. Generally, you hear about, you know, kids and the kid race a lot less, especially in, you know, terms of like who's got more or who's pumping them out. Yeah, pumping out babies for Mr. Cleans America. That's, yeah, I don't know that it's that much of a pressing matter for younger folks and sort of comparing. But again, it's all a little bit relative, where I definitely have some friends who are eager to get married and who are eager to start a family, and there are a select few that I know where that sort of family making is the top priority for them. And again, it's all preference and emphasis and where you choose to spend your time and what you ultimately focus on. So you never begrudge anybody for that, certainly not. But it's all package of emphasis. Me. Single quotation mark. It's all... I love that. It's like, you remember in the old Pokemon games when you would talk to someone and they like didn't know what to say, or they were surprised and it would just be like the ... above their head. I would always wonder, like, what is that sound that they're making? I like you just put an onomatopoeia on punctuation. That would just be, that's a sentence. Yo, those are some words that I said. You ever just onomatopoeia your punctuation? My God, take the mic away. Don't. I was gonna say don't let me out of the house, but I'm in the house. Maybe force me out of the house so that I can't say things like that. I don't know what to tell you. What was I saying about that? Oh, the other sort of bit. And again, this is sort of an emphasis question, right? They just make heavy breathing sounds. I love that. Every time your rival gets pissed or every time some ridiculous thing is happening, they just Giovanni or, you know, anyone on Team Rocket just heavy breathing at this 10-year-old. That's somehow more menacing and more ridiculous all at the same time, and I'm kind of here for it, honestly. That's just goddamn ridiculous. But sort of on those same lines, where I was going with that was you talk about, you know, packages of emphasis in life, right? When I was a mainframe security support guy, not the corporate management type I am now, but when I was, you know, on the front lines technically, I had kind of like my protege, more or less. Like when I was first hired in, I was my team lead at the time's protege, and I eventually took over for her when she found a new role. Similarly, when I was then team lead, I had a protege, like a new hire, come on board, and she was just, to this day, one of the most incredibly absorbent and knowledgeable and technically sharp people that I've ever come across. She had no ceiling in terms of what she could learn or how quickly she could pick something up or how capable she was. She could have ran the damn place in 30 years. And I would never have batted an eye. She was an exceptional technical talent. Her number one priority, as her entire family was that I later learned, was just starting a family. And so, you know, as soon as the opportunity sort of made sense, she started that family. She got married. She jumped right into motherhood, and that's genuinely what she wanted. I was not with that organization by the time this happened, but there was no retention effort in the world that could have kept her, you know, because she was just so focused on getting to that next phase of her life. And I just think that's so interesting, where you look at it from that one lens of, oh, you know, why would you not want to have this whole crazy career and doing all these things? And she's like, well, why would you not want to, you know, have 5 kids as quickly as you can? So it's all perspective, and it's all what you ultimately value. And yeah, some of those family members, like we were talking about, and those cousins will pick on you and sort of needle at you if you're not doing, you know, the things that they value necessarily, right? It's all semantics. Kyrar, did I get that right? Kyrar83. This map is so tight, I forgot how constricted it is. I haven't gotten to Reykjavik yet in any of my playthroughs. Even, you know, on my iPad where I have most of my progress in mini motorways, I haven't really gotten here. So this is all pretty fresh to me, and that probably shows. This over here is just a mess. I got to figure out a better way to tackle all this, because I need some extra help up here. And all of those cars are out? Maybe, yeah. Oh gosh, let me see. So I can move them over here, right, like that. And this needs some adjustment. I think it has the fewest land tiles of any map to date. I would believe it. Yeah, because is this it? I don't know if it's going to expand anymore. Now we're only 440 trips in here, but I'm not optimistic. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break all of this down to the studs. This is Max's. That's crazy. That is crazy talk. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I am going to have these two buildings serviced just by this bunch. Hopefully that's enough. We're going to undo the motorway here, or the roundabout. I'm gonna have a motorway here feed this directly. I would love to get around this a little more efficiently, and perhaps I can. Like I said, I'm really breaking this all down here. This is probably a lot less busy, and I only really need this happening. So let me try this. But that's gross. I'm crossing multiple lanes no matter what I do here. So I'm kind of boxed in. Unless, nope. And they're both feeding into this, so I can't really get around that too well. Unless... Now hear me out. Hear us out. Don't leave. No, that's insane. We're thinking here. We're thinking. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna break that down too much. That's gnarly, but we're gonna leave that for the moment. And I'm just gonna letting you cook for sure. Yeah, just give me a sec. Just give me a moment. We're gonna do this and just hop over here. To burn some of the motorways, and I can get a little more creative with it later if need be. Oh no, I'm not even gonna get all of that, and it's gonna blow up here anyway. Don't you even think about it. No, we're good. We just salvaged that. Did you see how close that one got? Oh my, no. Absolutely not. Wow. But it's working. The backlog is slowly evaporating. Hey, look who's here. Miss Nephroptosis says hi. Yes, hello. That's because Iceland isn't about roads. It's about bike paths. Dang it. It's an environmental lesson, for sure. Most satisfying feeling in the world is seeing one of those big pins cool off and disappear. I'll drink to that, Kairar. You are 100% right. It sounds like you play this game a fair bit. And that's great, because I do too. I haven't as much recently, but this has been my, like, ideal go-to on-the-go game. I have it on my iPad, and I play it whenever I'm, like, on a trip or whenever I'm just out somewhere and I have my iPad and I just want to play something. For years, Mini Motorways has been my go-to game for that. I have subscribed and unsubscribed from Apple Arcade so many times, just whether or not I want to play Mini Motorways. That's been like the defining moment and the defining reason for whether I do or do not have the active subscription. We got a D20 coming in from Vinny. Let's pause real quick and let's use the fancy new dice. Did y'all see the new dice yet? Yay, fresh from PAX East. It's beautiful. Pretty. First roll of them, too, is an 18. Oh, that's a hold that T pose. Oh, lucky me. So we get to roll the fancy D10 as well for how long I have to hold that T pose for. That's a gorgeous... Oh, thank you so much. Hold on. So that is 70 seconds that I have to hold the T pose for. So we will do that, but I'll give you a better look if I can. Hi. Of the D20 right here, if it'll focus on it. Yeah. It's lovely. The camera doesn't really capture it. I need to kind of light it from underneath to really show you. But it is absolutely stunning in person. You hold the light through it. It's like this rainbow-scopic display of just absolute beauty. If you're curious, it's the Synthetic Dreams set from Dispel Dice. This was a set that I'd had my eye on for a while. I finally picked it up during PAX East this year, and for context, don't you steal, I bought you a separate set Miss Nephroptosis, don't you do this. For reference, here is the one that I would usually use on stream, and that's in all our pre-rolls and everything. This is Sleepy Hollow, is what this set is called. So if you've been on the channel for a while, you know what this looks like. But this is also gorgeous. More of that black and blue, like almost icy kind of feeling to it, hence the name. And that is also beautiful. But we're busting out the new set tonight, and we'll roll them as many times as you want. Exclamation point D20 will have you continue to roll, and you saw some of the rewards that happen when we do. Look at them RGB sparkles. It is absolutely beautiful. So I will I'll do the pose after this map falls out here. So I got it. Now I gotta deal with the purples in the middle here. Gosh, I might need that, and I barely play tabletop RPGs anymore. So I feel you, because we've become straight up dice gremlins on the channel here and in my own kind of household. Miss Nephroptosis and I have just a ridiculous collection. We don't play a ton of games that require them. It helps for the stream now that we do the D20 rolls and things like that. But we have so many. I even bought, I don't know that I have them super available here, but that wasn't the only set that I bought, because like I said, I'm an absolute gremlin. There was a much more affordable set, and I get from I usually get things from Dice Dungeons at the PAX shows as well. Like I said, not nearly as expensive, and honestly not quite as nice, but it's not like an insane gulf. This is a kind of red and blue set. I forget, it was like called Starship or something like that. So this is from Dice Dungeons. Noticeably different hand feel. So the Dispel ones just do frankly feel a lot higher quality. They feel a little sturdier. They just feel a little more refined. And you can kind of even tell from the font and the numbering here, right? But not a bad set at all. I think this set with all of them like this was something like $30, and they were a resin set, so that's pretty nice. And I do enjoy that. It's giving Baldur's Gate. Yeah, I can see that. And I would agree with that. All right, so we had a D20 come in from Miss Nephroptosis as well, so let's do that. And then I will do, like I said, I'll do the T-pose when we're done with this. That is an 8. And that is, I gotta hit that gritty. All right, well, I guess when I get up, I'm really gonna get a workout here. Duly noted. Back to the game. I still have to resolve this purple in the middle. And there's so much happening here. This is what happens. This is a very dense map, obviously, as we were just talking about. And this is the problem that you run into. I don't want to share this road too much because it's really going to start clogging traffic up. But I might not have a choice, all things considered here, unless I can re-architect this entire thing to alleviate some of the pressure on this, and maybe I can. That's a very long way around, though, to basically, like, envelop. You see what I'm going to go for here? This is psychotic. There's no reason for me to be doing this, but here we are. That would make more sense for a motorway, but we're not doing it. Hey, that kind of does work out. If only because now we have these guys, and hopefully that's not too intrusive. And it's absolutely very intrusive. Do I even need... I'm just going to be a complete chaos mongrel about this. Hold on. Perfect. Great timing. Okay, so we can eliminate all of this. We can give even more direct access here, so that's good. So we're just going to do this all the way down, and that looks really good. I'm going to motorway out the pinks here. Give that a little space. Great. God, this is really tight. Oh, man, you weren't kidding. Hit that gritty and get the neighbors angry. Hey, it's 11:15 at night. Who even cares? I'm off tomorrow and Friday, baby. Hashtag wedding season. So this needs some attention for sure. Guess we're just clogging this up. See, this is where it sucks when you have two kind of rowing in the opposite directions here. And then this massive, like, traffic jam starts because they're trying to go all these separate directions. That's not going to really work for us, is it? No, it is not. Do I have a way around this? I don't think I do, actually. Can I pump them into this more efficiently? Yeah, I might be able to, actually. Yeah, maybe not. What if... Stay with me on this. What if these purples also came in from up here? Just a real what if scenario there. So these blues I can definitely have run along the edge here, and I can just cut through here and have a separate bridge going. That's not a big deal. This is really tense. Okay, let's see. I can just do that. And that fits that bill. 1,000 trips in Reykjavik. And that's apparently no easy feat. I think we're clearing some of that up. And that's looking okay. I have to have a way out for all of these different colors here. Yeah, that's looking a little clearer now. We're just making sure that we have the throughput for it, and that's good. We're on that. This is way too many for that one, so I'm sure that's going to bite us later. We're just keeping a very close eye here, because that's where it's going to tighten up the most, you know? Now we got a bunch of these little guys. We got some darker blues coming in. Ugh. Tensions are rising. And that's a... oh, this is getting very... We have a lot of intersecting here. Alright, we might have to rethink some of this. And it's getting busier, and it's getting busier, and I don't think I can put a traffic light there because of how they're organized, so let's try to do something about that. I'm going to remove these guys from that altogether. That is a long way to go, to need to go for that. Do I have enough purples being served here? I might actually have extra capacity over here that I can use, right? Oh, let me think. Well, first of all, is that going to solve that problem? I think it is. I want to alleviate some traffic here, because I'm going to have to pump more through that area. So I have a motorway. What I can probably do is take this out entirely, free up a second motorway, because that's 4 pinks that I may be able to use elsewhere. I have 4 pinks up here with capacity. So I can take out a motorway, clean some of that up. I can pull capacity from here over to there. Maybe I don't have to. I can just have these guys... Yeah, right? But then that's going to clog up even more, and that's not going to work. So I have to pump them in another way. And all the while, this is getting busier. Oof. I don't know. Will a light here help? And there's not enough feeding this one. Is there anything feeding this one? There might not be. Okay, alright, that's a problem. Well, we have a solution here. Oh, it's all on fire. Oh, there's no stopping this. I think it's... we have a problem now! Oh, very bad. Not good, very bad, in fact. I think this is beyond saving. What is even happening here? Nope. Nope. Well, that bubbled over appropriately. 1368. Not the worst for a first go at that. Let's do one more. I said we were going to do one more. Now we're going to do Vancouver. I want to go to Vancouver. I've never been to Vancouver. I'd like to go to Vancouver. More Canada, please. I need more Canada in my life. The False Creek? Yeah, because, well, if you're False Creek, I can just build around it. I don't got any bridges. Get away from me. Oh, man. Oh, I promised y'all, I gotta hit that gritty, and I gotta do, my T-pose. So let's have this going. Alright, so while that's going, I will do the T-pose first. And we will do that for 70 seconds, right? This can run in the background. Alright. Alright, well, 70 seconds. I have to do it like this. Plotting. Here's your T. You hear me? Good. You asked for this. You wanted the T. Holding that T pose for you. I'm helicoptering back and forth. Whoop, 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 whoop. Take off. 50 seconds. Here's your T pose. Flying. 40 seconds. How y'all doing? It's fun for you? You wanted to see? Gotta hit the gritty after this. What's my life become? Fine. No, it's fine. Cool. 15 seconds. I'm not mad about it. I'm worried about it, honestly. We are. And time. You know what that means? Make our downstairs neighbors hate themselves. We in this. Unbelievable. Things I do. More like a cursive T. Look, you're lucky you got any T in out of that. I'm not Mr. T pose. Oh my god, I just thought of that. There's real potential in Mr. T pose. I gotta figure that out. Okay, well this is already the suck. What are we gonna do about it? Do I have to motorway already? Or else I'm just kind of digging through. Yeah, we're just gonna carve through here. I have traffic lights. We're gonna have to use them already. It's fine. So we did hit the gritty. We did get all the neighbors angry. We are fine with that. Oh, no. Well, good thing we didn't use the motorway, huh? Why is Vancouver growing so fast? Everyone's really like Canada. Good for you, Canada. I want to go to there. We went... When was my last Canada? I think, Miss Nephroptosis and I went for my birthday last year, the year before? 2023, maybe? Was that the last time? Canada? Yeah, 2 years ago. Oh, we're overdue. We're overdue for a Canada. That was Montreal. We went to Montreal. In the dead of summer, which... Ideally, you want to go farther north when it's that hot, but it was muggy and it was gnarly and it was so much fun. We were in Boston last year. We love a Boston though too. Your cousin from Boston. And obviously we were just there. Which, speaking of, you know, we'll remind you of the programming note. There's still probably like almost the back half of our PAX coverage to come. We have a few more interviews to post over the course of the next few days. So hopefully you've been enjoying all of those so far. I think we've had a really good slate of content for you from this year's PAX. I think all things considered, this was probably our best year of content that we've produced at East yet. And we're very, very proud of it. The LandFest charity stream, like we had been saying before, went phenomenally well, and we're, again, just so grateful to each and every one of you who contributed to that. If you wanted some final statistics on it, I actually did pull them up recently, which I thought was very, very cool. So we ultimately raised $320 for Child's Play, the charity that donates games and, you know, interactive therapeutics to pediatric hospitals nationwide. So a very worthy cause. And looking back on it here, I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We were the 9th highest raising streamer by money, by monetary value, of everyone that participated in this. And it looks like there were somewhere in the order of like 50, almost 60 streamers, it looks like. If I look at this right. Yeah, so we were 9 out of 58 streamers. And for a while there, we were actually outraising the primary sponsor of the entire thing, Zotac, which I thought was kind of fun. And a testament to all of y'all that contributed to this, by the way. My pal! My pal hit the top 10! No, you all hit the top 10. I just showed my face and asked for it a bunch. You're all the real MVPs here. But, actually, I'm going to do this so I can branch it off like that. But no, it was incredible. So... yeah, we did very, very well with that, all things considered. I talked to the president of LandFest after the whole thing was done and we were breaking down for the night. Never forget, it was $319.69, because of course it was our final tally, which is excellent. And I mean, just, again, so humbling to consider here. What do I do with this? Nothing until I get something else here. Oh, pardon me. Don't want to interrupt you here. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not thrilled about this, but this might have to be my only choice. So we do this, and then all the way up there. That feels a little dirty, but we did it. So that at least gets serviced. And then we got to bring all of these out, right? And then this goes over this way. Got some busy highways. But yeah, that went really well. So between that charity stream, the show floor tour, and what's probably going to be about 9 or 10 interviews in total, this was by far the most productive PAX we've ever had in terms of output, in terms of just sheer content numbers. I think the quality of content has never been higher, especially with how the interviews look and what we were able to do with some of the live streams as well. So great success. And I think even now, as we kind of consistently iterate on this stuff year on year, it lays a good foundation and a good blueprint for us to continue to build off of. And hopefully you've been enjoying all that coverage. You've been enjoying the content, all the interviews that have been going up, especially the one that we did with Riot for Riftbound, the trading card game. That seems to have gotten quite a bit of traction and attention from the broader kind of Riot and Riftbound community, which has been great. We inadvertently broke some news in confirming that the game is going to be releasing in the October-ish timeframe. So a lot of fans seem to hook onto that, which was cool. And happy to break it for you. And I expect that there will be more to come in the Riftbound space from us. I personally really enjoyed the game. And, you know, it is sometimes the case that from big publishers on down to little, you know, indie teams, while we try to seek out content and games and material that we personally enjoy, which, you know, makes it likely that you, at least some of you out there, would enjoy it as well, we ultimately just don't like every game that we play. You know, you cast a wide net and you experiment with all these things. Not everything's going to speak to you, right? And not everything's going to be directly up your alley, right? And we've had that happen. We've gone to PAX. We've seen some games that just weren't ultimately what we were hoping they were going to be. We were expecting something else. They just don't resonate. It happens. Riftbound was not that case. And I'm kind of I have a pretty good background in TCG and card games myself. Most of you know, if you've watched this channel for a while, that I've played competitive Pokemon for a lot of years. Quite a bit of it in the TCG, and I was a world's level player one year. So, you know, I do, and I was talking to the game director about it. I know my way around a TCG to some degree, and that's helpful. So it was just really fun. It was a fun itch to scratch. It's fun to kind of dive into a new concept and a new physical trading card game in that space, because it doesn't happen super often, and that's a really interesting thing. And we just personally, you know, really had fun with it. So I would expect that from those capacities, you're going to see more Riftbound stuff over the next few months. Maybe not right away, but as we get closer to release, I expect that we'll catch up with where the game is at and explore more of it over time. And like I said, there's more to come from PAX, and then we'll kind of get back into our normal review cadence of what's coming. I think where I'm doing some work on my end to even improve those, even more so than the last couple that we've done. I have, and I'm just going onto my drive here to check how many reviews I have kind of in progress, because I have a bunch, and I've had a lot of ideas. Let's see. So, with just written scripts that are like in some state of completion, I have 6. There are 6 scripts in various states of completion, and we just got 1 or 2 more games that will be on the list to review as well. So we have a pool of like 8 or more games that we're pulling from for the next couple of reviews. So there will be no shortage of stuff to play, and that's always a good thing. It'll probably be a couple of weeks until I can crank one out, just because, again, May has been so busy, and I just I don't have the time to really sit down and work on these like I normally would, where it normally needs a pretty concerted, consistent effort across, you know, basically 2 weeks. I just don't have that right now. But we'll get them out, and more will be coming, and they're going to be great, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think especially there's a couple of them that I've wanted to do for a while that I think will be fun watches, and I'm looking forward to playing around with them a little bit. Much excited. Love me reviews. The last couple have been doing really well, especially like the Splinter Cell review took off, and you really never know what's going to resonate with people, right? Rystar even, did reasonably well, and we're happy about that. So we'll keep cranking them out for you, and I got to decide what's going to be next. I think we had talked about some of this, but oh no. I'm getting distracted. I can't get distracted. How do I get... Okay. Restar. Yeah, it's not Restar, it's Restar, obviously. All right, I got to get some yellows over here. Pronto stat. Where this whole enterprise falls apart. We have a couple really fun ones queued up. Part of what I'm thinking about too is filming and recording them in ways where it's not just the bed in the background, to kind of further professionalize this. The one big piece of feedback that I've gotten from most in the creative sphere and people that I routinely bounce the stuff off of is you got to get it out of the bedroom. And I don't disagree one bit. I think it would really help to have at least some kind of like green screen, to cover up the fact that I'm just doing this in our guest room. So I'm looking into what we're going to do about that and sort of different recording setups that are going to help me still produce it all essentially myself, but efficiently when it, the level of effort gets a little higher every time. Yeah, so it would just be like I would set it up behind me and I would just film this regular angle, but it would just be something else in back there. If I can light it and make it look decent enough, that would make a lot of sense. It's just one more thing to like set up and tear down when I'm done and have to be aware of, and etc. I gotta get... This is not looking great. So let's do this. I'm actually going to take this motorway out entirely because I'm going to use this strip of silvers over here. And then I'm going to move these silvers over here. And that's going to help. These guys should have been going this way this whole time. I think that's going to work. Righto, righto. Yeah, that looks all right. It bottlenecks a little bit there, but nothing crazy. The acoustics and whatnot are perfect in there. Well, yes, especially when I do my sort of audio post-processing on it, mostly what I do with it is... it's just like some de-reverb, because there is some reverb in the room. You hear it a little more when we stream, because I don't have my... I post-process recorded audio, not streamed audio. So there's that. I do clean it up a little bit, but even, just its kind of defaults in here are not too bad. So that's helpful. And yeah, hopefully, if I can just light it and get it to look good, I'll feel better about doing the green screen. I just got to experiment with it and find one. So I'll maybe give that some thought over the weekend. And if I can put something together to test with the next review, that would be helpful. And then we can have like a proper branded background, and it's not obviously just me in the room here. We'll figure out. I need... Yeah. This is bottlenecking real bad, and we gotta do something about it. Don't have room for that. But I have a traffic light. That is fine, just fine. Oh, the old bridge blocks the new bridge. That's fun. And by fun, I mean not fun in the slightest. Alright, so we're gonna need some yellow help here, yeah? A little bit. And we're gonna need some more. Okay. Well, let's get it some help then. How can I get it over there? It's gonna have to do some crossy road action here. And this, I feel like we're gonna have a blue explosion at some point. It's already over there. Thinking about it. I'm gonna do... What am I gonna do? I have to get more turquoise going too. So I have bridges, right? I do have bridges. If I can have just this satisfy that one, that would be a big help. Would that give me a little bit of room to play with here? It would. I'd only have to cross over here once, right? Yeah, and then I can do this, 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 this. And that would help. Throw a traffic light on that, and we're happy. I'm trying to pump the rest of these blues in there. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? And soon enough? No, it's probably not. Oh! Secret tunnel. I could have secret tunneled in too. It's over. 1738. I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello. Wonderful. Well, that was nice. That was a nice little chill night for all of us, wasn't it? We tackled a few cities, had ourselves a little mini motorway time. I'm happy about that. And I hope you are too. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're going to leave it at that, I think, for now. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Liam Cheatspeak. And a couple of programming notes before we get out of here. Like I said, there will be more coverage from PAX East coming your way over the next few days. We should have everything up and posted by hopefully the end of the weekend. I think we have a couple more interviews that have to go up. And cozy as hell. We get one more D20 before we go. Smart. All right. Give the dice a little more workout. That is a 13. That is many dabs, which means we get to roll the new D12. That is 7 dabs. Good on you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 dabs. Congrats. But yeah, more PAX East coverage coming your way. There will be shorts trickling out about that as well, so you'll get the notifications on the Discord, !Discord. That'll be why. We'll be back to weekly streams now that East is over, and as we trickle out all of that, we'll get back into the normal review cadence. Like I said, I have what, 6 scripts in varying states of done, and a couple more games, some of which I picked up at PAX East that I'm going to review. One of which we showed on stream already was Star Fox Guard. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I got a really good price on it, and we're going to work that in at some point. One or two others that I'm going to keep quiet for now, but they are so ridiculous, and the reviews are going to be so ridiculous. I'm very excited for them, but I'm going to leave those to your imagination for the time being. Otherwise, I think that'll do it, folks. So again, more stuff to come from PAX East. We'll resume our normal review content and see what's coming on the channel in the next couple of months, because we got a lot of fun stuff happening. So, hope you enjoyed a little chill night with mini Motorways. And thanks so much for watching. Stay fresh, cheese bags. We'll catch you back here real soon.